guys, Isabel here again. We are almost done with the semester! Hopefully you guys have been having fun watching our solo and partner videos, and hopefully it's a nice stress reliever from all your classes and exams. You guys got this? I believe in you. So before we begin, let's jump into a little bit of history, or more so a little bit of context to put some things into perspective. So like I've mentioned before, if you were to Google the history of swing, you'll notice that Lindy Hop is kind of this overarching dance that encompasses a lot of other variants, such as East Coast, West Coast, Boogie Woogie, Jive, etc. All of the dances I mentioned are definitely unique in their own ways, and it's easy to recognize them because we group them in that fashion. But sometimes I think it's worth thinking that they're all connected and related in some way. For everything that we do in swing, I personally think it's easier to find this way in which they're all connected. To make everything that I do in swing feel more connected, I often think of East Coast more so as either 6-count moves or 6-count Lindy. There's definitely some controversy that surrounds the usage of the term East Coast because it has some ties to cultural appropriation. So this is a snippet from the online article Jitterbugging with the Jim Crow, and this particular section focuses on the revival of swing around the 1980s and 90s and the origin of East Coast swing itself in the 1940s. In addition, if you were to look up East Coast, the feel of it is quite different from 6-count Lindy. It gets really complicated in terms of terminology. Is it better to use East Coast? Is it better to use 6-count Lindy? I personally stick with 6-count Lindy for reasons of cultural appropriation and also just my better understanding of how to do swing in a more connected fashion. I think all I would say is use whatever name suits you best, so long as you understand the context of it and if it helps you better understand how to do the dance. For me, whether I think of it as East Coast or 6-count Lindy, I think of a similar feel that I can use across all my dances, whether it be East Coast or 6-count Lindy, Lindy Hop or Charleston, which is this idea of dancing into the ground and feeling connected with it. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm always thinking about having this pulse and being in touch with the rhythm. Speaking of the ground, a lot of traditional black dances are connected and directed to the earth, and in solo jazz there are plenty of opportunities to do so, which is a perfect segue into our first couple of moves. I was kind of joking at first. So this isn't actually a move, but I think it's really cool to incorporate whether it's solo dancing or partner dancing. All this move really is stomping, and sometimes in dances you'll see people have a stomp off. In stomp offs, all it really is scatting with your feet. So when there's any kind of stomp off that occurs, all it really is listening to the rhythm and then translating it into your feet. You can almost think of it as if you were listening to a song and you hear a really cool bass line and trying to pick up that rhythm and translating that into your movements. A stomp off is really just a fun way to play around with rhythm, so you can stomp, you can kick, you can do toe taps, you can clap. This is just a great way to explore your body and the different movements that you can create. I know it's pretty early on in the video, but I'm going to put on a quick song, and when you listen to it, think about the rhythms that stand out the most to you. So it could be a rhythm that's just requiring you to step to the beat, or maybe you want to play around with syncopation or different rhythms. Really, just have fun. Sometimes I like to pretend that I'm a really good jazz singer or a really good Lindy Hop dancer, and I know what I'm doing with my feet, and I'm just playing around and messing around with the rhythm. Okay, on to the first actual move, which is something that you guys have already seen, which is the half break, and it looks like this. Alex Miko and Alex R have already touched on this move in the Shim Sham, but I thought it would be fun to go over it one more time just because it's super fun to play with and include when you're playing around with different variations and different rhythms. Okay, so now I'm going to show it from the back, and I'm going to do this move where I start on my right. So the half break involves 8 counts, and your first count involves the 8. So the whole thing would go 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on that 8, I'm falling forward. So I'm falling on 8 and then rocking back on 1. So you can just practice that falling forward and rocking back. So 8, 1, 8, 1. And when you're doing this falling forward, don't be afraid to really just commit and have this really grounded feeling and stomp into the ground. So 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1. So after I go 8, 1, then I'm going to kick on 2 with my right, and then go a 3, going right, left. So all together, it'll look like this. 8, 1, 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7. Similarly, I can do this move where I start on my left. So first, the whole move looks like this. 8, 1, 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7. So again, when I'm showing this move, I'm really committing to falling onto my left foot. So like before, this move starts on 8, and I'm going to fall on that 8 and really commit to that. So 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1. After 8 and 1, I'm going to kick on 2 with my left. So 2, and then go a 3, going left, right. So all together, it looks like this. 8, 1, 2, a 3, 4, 5, 6, a 7. Counts 4 to 7 are really just repeating that first half that I showed you. I'll reiterate this point because it might be helpful for you. I know it was definitely helpful for me. But after I fall forward on that 8, so if I were to start with my right foot, falling on 8, and then rocking back, for the rest of that move, a lot of my weight is concentrated onto my left foot, if that's a nice way to think about it. So falling forward on my right, 8, 1, 2, a 3. During most of that move, I don't know if you'll notice, but a lot of my weight is more focused on my left, and that will help also when you're doing this kick, so you don't lose balance. Similarly, you can apply this for when you're falling forward on your left. So again, 8, 1, 2, a 3. So for most of that, I had my weight on my right foot. So after falling forward on my left, 8, 1, my weight is more concentrated onto my right, kick, 3. The next move is fishtails, and they look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In essence, all you're really doing is just taking turns and stepping back on both feet. So if I were to start on 1 with my right foot, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I'm taking this step back, I'm thinking of angling my body to the opposite side. So if I'm taking a step back on my right, I want to angle the rest of my body to my left. What's going to help with this is also if you rotate your hips to the left. So not only pointing your left foot in that direction, but also engaging your hips, rotating that body to the left side. When I take a step back on my left, I will also rotate my hips such that the rest of my body is facing the right. So with counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the odd counts are when I take the chance to step back. But the even counts are a really good time to just kind of nicely drag your left foot with you. So with counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's really going to make this move cool is if you really exaggerate how your hips are swaying. So you'll notice when I start on my right, my hips are swayed to the right such that my whole body is facing the left. So right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The hardest part of fishtails is probably just engaging your hips and being able to sway back and forth. So if you want, just practice doing exactly that. The next move are skaters, or rondés for ballet dancers. And it looks like this. So with rondés, the simplest way that I think about it is just drawing a semicircle with my toe. So I could do it from the back forward. So if I were to put my weight on my left, I could draw that semicircle with my right foot and drag my foot forward like this, or I could pull my foot back like that. If I were to concentrate my weight on my right would be slightly bent, and I would pull my foot either forward or back. Skaters are a really fun way to show off some flexibility and really just having a more smooth movement as opposed to the stomps that I showed earlier. The last move is something called Camel Walks, and the full thing looks like this. I think doing the full thing is a little bit complicated. There are definitely YouTube videos out there that can show you how to do the full camel walk, but I'm going to show a more condensed, easier version for this. A way to think about the simplified version of camel walks: the Cuban shuffle. That is right, I said the Cuban shuffle. Let me break it down. So, in a Cuban shuffle, when you go to the right, you go to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. And to the left, you would go to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. You'll notice for this move, if I were to go to my right, I would take a step out, and then I would bring my left foot behind me. So step right, bring the left foot to you. Step right, bring the left foot to you. The only difference for camel walks is you're making it a little bit more smoother, and your movement's a little bit more angular. When I take a step to my right, I want to concentrate most of my weight such that it is on the ball of my right foot. So in the end, I want to end up like this. And when I end up on the ball of my foot, I want my upper body to also be over that foot. So I don't want to do any of this weird stuff. When I take that step out and I'm on the ball of my right foot, I want the rest of my body to follow and be directly above it. Now, because this is happening, when I want to bring my left foot to me, I kind of just slide it such that it meets with my heel. And my foot is still kind of in this angular fashion, so that way when I take a step forward again with my right, it is flat. So slowly, step to the right, gather, step to the right, gather, step to the right, gather. Most of the work that happens with this move is when I'm gathering my weight onto my right. So it's less so actually about dragging that other foot behind you to get you into that position, but it's really about, again, just concentrating that weight onto the ball of your right foot. You can also do the same thing moving to the left. So I would take a step to the left. I would gather my weight such that it is on the ball of my left foot. And when that happens, I want my body to also be over my foot. So again, nothing like this. I want to be directly hovering over my left foot. And when this happens, I want to lightly drag my right foot behind, so that way they kind of meet in this third position maybe. It's been like forever since I've taken ballet. But yeah, so I want my right foot to meet up with my left heel. And then again, if I take a step to the left, my feet are flat, concentrate that weight onto the ball of my left foot, and lightly drag my right foot behind. What might also help with this move is if you have a little bit of action coming from your hips. If I were to think about a regular Cuban shuffle, I might just kind of engage my hips like this. You can also do the same thing in camel walks to make it a little bit more fun and exaggerate your moves. So going to the right. So whether I'm moving to the right or the left, sometimes I like to engage first with my upper body. So step forward, kind of lean forward, drag that up behind me, step forward. When I step to the right, I kind of lock my body forward, and then when I want to gather that weight onto the ball of my right foot, my body straightens out. Okay, so now I'll show a super quick routine that involves all the moves that I taught today. So first, I'm going to start off with a few camel walks. I'm going to follow it up with some fishtails, then I'm going to do a half break, and then do a brief stomp off. So enjoy! If you want, you can slowly watch that routine and see what I did. It was super quick, but it was super fun. I was able to do this with a couple of my friends from UVA, Super fun routine. Oh my god. We are done. So hopefully those moves were relatively easy to do, and hopefully that routine that I added at the end was a nice way to kind of summarize everything that we did and kind of tie all these moves together. Solo jazz and solo Charleston is really just a fun way to play around with the rhythm, really see what is it in the music that makes me want to move, and just engaging your body and trying out all these new movements. Lovely. So my iPad decided to die on me. Thank you. All I wanted to say is that it's super great if you want to perfect all these moves and make sure that you're doing it exactly correct, and I have a lot of extra pointers in all the moves that I've showed that can make this move easier to do and make it a little bit more cool. But at the end of the day, the goal of learning all of these moves is just to be able to have more fun with your dancing. I would say for me personally, it makes dancing a lot more fun just knowing that there's so much in my toolbox that I can do. That was my long spiel of saying that perfection is not important. It's all about having fun with all of these moves, just turning on a song that you want to swing to and letting it move you. Anyways, you guys know the drill. If you have any questions, comments, general areas of concern, feel free to reach out to me, anyone on exec, or anyone that teaches. If there's any particular move that you guys would like broken down, just reach out to the teaching team and we'll see if we can include it into a future video. If you guys have any particular questions about swing history, feel free to reach out to any of us and we'll do our part in making sure that we understand the context of this dance. We are almost there, you guys. Oh my god, this has been such a long semester. But yes, make sure that in addition to all your classes, exams, and all the things that you have to do, that you take time in your day for yourself, because self-care is very important. So, stay well, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!